Hello there guys, this is Christy Lewis from Dostoevsky in Space. Today I have a very exciting video. I'm going to be giving you my TBR for ktropeathon as well as some recommendations so that you can complete the bingo. So without further ado, let's jump into it. I included some examples already in my announcement video of things that would work for the bingo board. So if you haven't seen that, go watch that. Watch the section about the bingo board. And I just put like some pictures on the screen of books that could be examples that could fit for that. And I also have already done a manga and webtoons recommendations video where Yoon recommended tons of webtoons that she loved and would recommend it to you guys. So definitely check that out. And I don't know how many of them cover the bingo board prompts, but I feel like that would become clear if you read about them or started reading them. So, and I'm definitely planning to check out some webtoons. But for webtoons, Yoon recommended Tappy Toons as well as Manta's Comics. But she said Webtoon Naver is probably the best place to go. They have like a lot of popular romance webtoons on Webtoon Naver. So she said, definitely highlight Webtoon Naver. So that's probably where I'll be looking, to be honest. Now, for reading for ktropeathon, you can actually read from any genre that you want. You don't have to read things that are Korean. But obviously, a lot of us are taking this opportunity to read lots of Korean things. So that's what I'm doing for sure. And I do have some books that are for the bingo and fit the bingo. And then I have lots of books that don't. So for the trendy trendsetter prompt, what I would recommend is Book of the Month. It always has new and trending literature. And a lot of times whatever they're publishing is a debut author that everybody is just so interested in reading. So I would recommend Book of the Month. Even if you don't buy their version of the book, they will have a good selection of new and trending titles. And they often have like very diverse titles too. Another recommendation for this is utilize a librarian, because librarians are constantly buying new books and checking the New York Times bestsellers list and buying those books for their libraries. So they will know what is new at the library and new and trending at the library and in the book world as a whole. I could also recommend reading something from the Bible here, because if anything set trends, it was the Bible. And really any classic could qualify for this, because classics are around for a reason. It's because they were influential and they remain influential. So really, if there's just a classic you've been wanting to get to, that could also fit this prompt. Or maybe you could read a biography about an important historical figure. So for me, for my TBR for this particular prompt, I am planning to read, if I haven't finished it by then, Crying in H-Mart by Michelle Zauner. Jungkook just picked up H-Mart, and so I know that makes it trending again. Anytime a BTS member picks up a book, it is now trending. So I'm taking that to mean I can read this as a trending book. I also am in the middle of Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan, which, I mean, medieval allegory, it's a genre for a reason. It's because it was super trendy in the Middle Ages. So I feel like that could also, if I haven't quite finished Pilgrim's Progress by the beginning of July, I could use that one. Destiny and Fate recommendations. There was like Library of Fates. I mean, there's like a lot of young adult literature that have titles, but there's tons of things that you could read for this. I mean, like Oedipus. There's like tons of classics that deal with like fate versus free will and stuff like that. However, for me, I'm probably going to be reading either there's a webtoon called Navillera. Navi means butterfly. So it means like a butterfly by Hoon Jimmy. And I found this Korean webtoon in Korean. So I want to try it out in Korean. And if it's too difficult, then I can always just move over to the English translated version. So this is about a teenager, I believe, and an elderly man who both want to do ballet. And I believe they like inspire each other to greater heights in their love for ballet. This is actually a drama on Netflix that was recommended to me as well. I think, was it Dia? Did you recommend it to me, Dia? I didn't actually talk about what this was. I don't even really know what this is. I just know it's a memoir by a Korean musician, or a Korean American musician. I think she's a rock musician. I don't know. And H-Mart. That's all I need to know. And Pilgrim's Progress is kind of what it sounds like. It's the progress of a Christian through life and all the difficulties that come through life. So the other book that I have here for Fate and Destiny is Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. This is a book that I actually DNF'd quite a while ago, not because it's bad, just because I really hate one of the characters. And I don't want to spend a whole book with him. But I want to give this another try. And I know that in the back cover, it talked about fate. How it's about proud immigrant families fighting to control their destinies. A lot of Korean literature is about like immigration and really heartbreaking historical circumstances, because Korea has been through so much in their history. They have just been through so much. So lots of invasions, lots of occupations, forced immigrations, things like that. So, and obviously the splitting up of their country, like that was traumatic. So the group watch prompt is pretty obvious. You can watch Hospital Playlist with us for the group watch prompt. And for try a K-beauty tip, I'm not really a beauty YouTuber. I don't usually watch stuff like that. I'm more into like food and books and K-pop and K-drama, and languages. Those are the things that I tend to watch a lot of. So I don't watch a lot of beauty content, but I know that there is a lot out there, and I do sometimes buy Korean beauty products. So I think what I would recommend is you could either just Google K-beauty on Google or in YouTube, and lots of options will come up in TikTok as well. TikTok, I love TikTok because everything is so short and fast. You can cover a lot of ground within a few minutes in TikTok and find the right tips for you. But there are quite a lot of Korean diet videos out there that I've run across just in my nighttime viewing when I'm relaxing. And I was watching like food vlogs, and then I ran across a whole segment of Korean diet vlogs. And so I guess those could be counted as beauty tips, right? For me personally, I'm going to be looking up Twice makeup recreations videos, and I'm going to try to recreate some Twice makeup. Very excited. Not that I have never done that before. In fact, my whole makeup style has changed ever since I discovered Twice. I've started using like a little bit of blush and stuff like that. So Twice already influences my makeup very heavily. But I'm going to look for some specifics. Okay, how about Dating Scandal, which is our next prompt. So what I would recommend for this is Come Back by Lynn, Ashwood, and Rachel Rose, because this is a K-pop romance that definitely involves a dating scandal. I feel like most of the K-pop romances could also count for this, because it's kind of a scandal anytime a K-pop artist gets involved with dating. But that one was really good. I really enjoyed that romance. I'm looking forward to diving into some romance in this readathon, because it's not something that I normally pick up. Not because there's anything wrong with it or because I don't like it. It's just that I have to use my reading time very carefully. And I am usually trying to like educate myself when I'm reading. I'm looking forward to like sitting back and enjoying some romances. And another recommendation that I have for this would be Taylor Jenkins Reid's books, because I haven't read a lot of those either. I've only read one, but my husband and I listened to Malibu Rising, and there was lots of dating scandal material in there, and I think that she normally deals with that kind of thing. I would recommend Malibu Rising or other Taylor Jenkins Reads for this prompt. For Malibu Rising, we are following the family of a rock star. He's an American rock star who has left progeny all over the US, and his most famous family was with one of his wives. It's following those kids, basically. And one of the kids also has a very scandalous dating history. And Comeback is about a group who was struggling, a K-pop group that was struggling. And when they were at their lowest and one of the members was going to quit, he was encouraged by one of their fandom, and he fell in love with this girl who was part of his fandom. And then 2 years later, when they are like a world hit and everybody knows their name and they're really popular, he runs across this girl again. And he is like determined to date her. And it becomes a dating scandal. So for my TBR for dating scandal, Falling for Korea came up when I searched for dating scandal. I don't know if that quite qualifies, but I might try that one because that one looked really good, and I know that there's a suspense element, which might make me read it like even quicker, you know? Okay, our next prompt is abbreviations or clever wordplay. So recommendations for this would obviously be Soul Searching or Seoulmates. Either of those are plays on words. Anything with Mr. and Mrs. in the title. So this one shouldn't be too hard. So for buy or make Korean recipes, I'm going to recommend for people who are only on YouTube or people who just want to find things on YouTube, I'm going to recommend the channel Joelle. She is a food vlogger with really yummy ideas for food, and she does a lot of like eating like this K-pop group kind of videos that are really fun and inspiring, and she actually really influenced me to get into salads again. And I would also recommend the channel Mangchi because she has so many recipes and they are authentic Korean recipes. She is adorable and her videos are filmed super well, and I just highly recommend Mangchi. I really love her channel. I also would recommend Plan D and Hammy Mommy, which they're both food vloggers, and it just makes me want to eat like healthy when I watch them. And for ideas when eating out, I would recommend the Korean Englishman, not because they will tell you where to eat, but they will give you ideas of what Korean food is out there, what Korean food you can buy if you go to a restaurant. So their channel is really fun. They always introduce people to like Korean barbecue and stuff like that. And if you just watch them interact with guests and Koreans in the video, they film a lot of them in Korea. That will really help you when you're not really sure what to order or what the etiquette might be. And for TikTok, there are just so many, tons of really easy recipes on TikTok. Like I said, this is the best place to find a quick, easy thing is TikTok. So I would recommend Cook Kim, who has lots of recipes, and the way he films them is very clear, and it's just really fun to watch. And I would recommend also James Bach, who has super easy recipes, and also It's Helen Melon at It's Helen Melon for easy recipe ideas, tips for eating out at a Korean restaurant or Korean barbecue, and also recommendations for restaurants to try in the LA area if you're in that area. So for me, what I'm planning to make is I really would like to try a very mild tteokbokki. I also want to try, and I'm going to use, by the way, the Mangchi recipe for this, of course, as well as for the Korean corn dog, which I've been wanting to make for a long time. Korean corn dogs have cheese in them, and they're covered in little French fries, and then you roll them in sugar. So Korean cuisine is often sweet and spicy, both of them together. And I also would like to try making some Korean fried chicken, again, a Mangchi recipe. And yeah, I'm just embracing the junk food for ktropeathon. So for the snow or flower petals prompt, I'm going to be reading, probably, hopefully, If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha, which is a book that Jenny actually sent me for my birthday or Christmas. I can't remember. But I've been eyeing this and wanting to read it, and it's not that long. And for a recommendation for snow or flower petals, I mean, this should be pretty easy. You can find a book with snow or flower petals on the cover, or you could reread something that you know is about that, or if you've heard of a book that's about a blizzard or something like that. I know that there's a book about blizzards on the plains. So you could read a disaster story. You could read the John Krakauer book about climbing Mount Everest or something type book. I mean, you could take this prompt in a million ways. My recommendation would be Cold Welcome by Elizabeth Moon, which is about a female astronaut? No. Female, I think she's in the military. So Elizabeth Moon writes military sci-fi, but she writes it often from female perspectives, and her female leads are really interesting and complex. And so this was a military sci-fi about a female, I think she envisions either the Navy or the Marines to be the people who go into space and take care of space missions and stuff like that. So she ends up landing on a planet that is like, there's ice and snow, and it's like becomes a disaster survival story, and I just thought it was really fun. It's like fun. It's not like anything really deep and meaningful, but I thought it was really fun, and I really enjoy Elizabeth Moon, so I would recommend Cold Welcome. And for making or enjoying fan art, so my recommendation for this is, again, TikTok. So whenever I say TikTok, also, you can try searching for Reels or YouTube Shorts. I've just found that it's really difficult to search for something in Reels and really find what you're looking for. Not that the search function on TikTok is amazing, but once you start finding things that you are looking for on TikTok, the algorithm will start suggesting things to you once it figures out your preferences. And I just find that it's a lot harder to navigate Instagram Reels. But you can totally look on Instagram instead of TikTok, or on YouTube Shorts instead of TikTok. But so for TikTok, if you just search your favorite K-pop group, or you search for your favorite member, or if you just Google fan fiction plus your favorite group or member in K-pop, you will have so many options, you won't know what to do with them. And you might even find a new hobby. Search for fan art or something like that, or journaling, K-pop journaling or something like that. Or if there's a particular K-drama that you like, there are K-drama edits out there, and you could make your own video. You could make a collage. You could pretty much do whatever you'd like. You could write a story about whatever your favorite thing that you are excited to be a fan about. Yeah, I would recommend checking out some of the participants in ktropeathon, some of the people that you see excited to participate in ktropeathon, because I know that some of them are artists as well. So I'm gonna make some kind of word art out of, I think, ATEEZ's Gorilla album, because I've just been kind of sitting on this Gorilla album and there's all these great pictures and stuff. So I want to make like a journal page about one of the songs from the Gorilla album so that I can learn the lyrics and be able to sing along with it. That's my plan. So as far as other things that I have on my list that I want to read for ktropeathon, obviously, Once Upon a Kprom. I should have mentioned this way before now. I'm sure this would count for Dating Scandal. I'm sure this would count for Destiny or Fate. This would count for abbreviations. Kprom would be for Korean prom, so this would actually... I'm gonna use this for my abbreviations. I found my abbreviations prompt, guys. Yeah, this would count for multiple ones of the prompt. So whichever one that you're struggling to find, read the group pick. There you go. I also have a book of Korean stories for language learners, which I haven't touched in like a month or two because I've been really busy with studying other things for my Korean classes, but I would love to read a couple stories from this in Korean. These are so good, and I just love the cover so much, like the tiger. So great. I'm planning on finishing A History of Korea before July, but in case I don't, I might finish this just because. And of course, I'm hoping as well that I will finish Nothing to Envy by Barbara Dimick before ktropeathon begins, but just in case I don't, here we have it. I will be reading this. Hey guys, I also wanted to mention that I forgot to mention these stories, which I definitely want to try to fit into July if I can. So the Columbia Anthology of Modern Korean Poetry includes some authors that I've learned about in Korean history, and I really wanted to get to them. Lots of like activist poets. Yona of the Dawn is a Japanese manga, but the names are like very Korean sounding, so I don't know. It's kind of like a Korean fantasy. Bitter Medicine is literally just, I think it's a fae romance. It's a fantasy romance. Princess Bari by Hwang Sok-yong, which I loved. A different book by Hwang Sok-yong. It's really good, but Tiffany's going to be reading this, and Dia is going to be reading this. And so I asked if I could maybe potentially join them. I might be too busy, but I would like to have it as a possibility. The Magical Language of Others is another thing that it looked interesting. It just, a Korean name popped up. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll look at that. But priority probably among all these would be Memoirs of Lady Hyegyong, because I've been planning to read this like all year. I've been wanting to read it. And my friend Joanna and Tiffany and I are thinking we are going to try to read it. So at least some of it, at least start it. Yeah. Those are the plans that I forgot to tell you guys about. Those are my ktropeathon plans. I hope that you guys enjoyed this TBR, and I hope that you'll join us for ktropeathon. Don't forget, there is a really exciting giveaway happening for ktropeathon. For every bingo that you get on the ktropeathon bingo board, you get an entry into the giveaway, and the giveaway prize is a $25 gift card, or the equivalent in books, $25 worth of books from Blackwell's. Hopefully they ship to your country. If they don't, we might be able to use a different online bookstore that does ship to your country, as long as it's not super expensive. So we can work that out once we see who wins. And you just have to share your bingos on social media. You can post it here on YouTube. You can post it in a video. Just make sure that you tag us, or you can share it in Tiffany's Discord, which, by the way, if you haven't joined Tiffany's Discord yet, that is where we will be having chat during the month, as well as the K-drama watch along. We're going to be streaming certain episodes of Hospital Playlist there. So definitely join Tiffany's Discord. Lots of opportunities there. And I can't wait to be reading and just having fun with you guys for ktropeathon. So, and do please let us know in the comments below if you are going to be participating. Okay, bye.